Welcome to the Books and Martinis podcast.
I'm Priya.
And I'm Mercy.
And this is your go-to book podcast,
where we lift, empower, and spotlight authors.
Grab your martini and follow along.
And don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe.
Hey, book lovers. This episode of Books and Martinis is brought to you by our wonderful sponsors. Blue Box Media, you dream it, we produce it. And Travel with Samantha Cividanes, specializing in luxury cruises. Ooh. Their support keeps the stories, authors, and conversations flowing. Don't forget to visit them and support the brands that support this podcast. Now the martinis are poured, let's get into the episode. What's up, everyone? Welcome to our podcast. I'm Priya.
And I'm Mercy. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, Josh, all the way from Ethiopia. Thank you for joining us today.
Welcome,
Cheers
Josh.
to you.
Cheers.
Absolutely.
Salute.
Thank you.
And you have a water bottle. Talk to me about that water bottle.
What's going on there?
This is called Ambo water. It comes from a town, Ambo, and the water is natural, and it's a sparkling water, and it comes out of a volcanic fissure. And It's got magnesium in it and all kinds of minerals and such. And so some people say it's holy, and they have these like healing properties. And for other people, they just drink it, and it's wonderful.
Oh my God!
Wow! So unlike city water here,
right? Tap water from NYC. So it's straight from the volcano. Is it filtered at all, or
straight out of the volcano? Yep. And they just harvest the water and purify it, and then bottle it. Yeah.
Wow.
And it's completely carbonated as is.
Oh my God.
What does it taste like?
It's hard to explain because when I try tonic water in America, that tastes very bitter to me compared to this. This is almost sweet taste.
Okay.
It's a carbonated water with a hint of sweetness to it. It's hard to describe. You have to come to Ethiopia and actually
I guess so, to get some. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Fair enough.
All right, guys.
Tell us about you. Oh, okay.
Well, let me just kick it off. Let me kick it off. So on the screen and in your ears is Joshua Smalley. He's the author of Tales of a Traveling Teacher Walking with Snow Leopards in Paradise. It's one of his two books. I will be talking about both today, but he's bigger than this book. I was telling him before, like he's an explorer. He's a photographer. He's doing all these things, all these amazing things. And we can't wait to talk to you more about all those things. Welcome, Joshua, to our podcast.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you so much. I really appreciate you guys having me on and having the privilege to speak to you and your audience about our mutual love of writing and reading.
Yeah, absolutely. So let me kick off with your bio real quick before we get into Mercy's question. Joshua Smalley is an individual fully engaged and energized in life. He holds an eclectic set of interests, passions, and experiences. In his former years, he was at varying degrees of experience and proficiency a fashion model, fine art creator, actor, photographer, and plumber. Whoa. In his current work, Smalley is an innovative international school educator of 17 years. His stated aim is to make learning alive and relevant to his students. Smalley brings personalized learning into the forefront of his classroom, differentiating instruction and curriculum to the personal needs of each student. His international practice includes moving students with appropriate scaffolding into the driver's seat of their learning. He challenges them to advocate for themselves, lean into the beauty and challenges of learning, and grow personally regardless of curricular content. His teaching experience and certification includes AP Language and Literature, AP Seminar, IVDP, Language and Literature, NYP, Language and Literature, Journalism, and Photography. And that's just like the cherry on top, guys, because this guy is like Mr. Incredible. He does so much.
Wow. What an interesting human you are. I love that. I love that you're not in a box. You are like just everywhere. Share, what is your ultimate passion? What are you most passionate about? Yes.
You asked the wrong person to nail it down to one.
No, you have a lot. Okay, your
top
three.
I would say that every day waking up and trying to find an adventure in life. wherever I'm at, even if it's the daily grind, even if I'm not out traveling and exploring, and all this grandiose things. I think it was something that was instilled when I was very young, back in Seattle, Washington, where I was raised. And my parents allowed me to go into the mountains a lot, and I would go hiking alone, even as a high schooler, and explore. And I think there was just such adventure and pioneering and excitement with that. And it drove me from that point forward that I was like, man, I don't have that much time on this planet. I really want to try lots of things and explore lots of things. So it's sort of the jack of all trades, master of none. I would say my teaching craft is strong, but a lot of the other things that we mentioned, I'm dabbling with them. I'm playing with them. Some of them is been professional, right, with photography and painting and writing and things like this. But a lot of it's just me playing around and making mistakes and having fun.
Wow.
How beautiful that you get to do that. That is wonderful.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And so go ahead, Marcy.
No, that's okay.
No, so it's crazy that you said that, you have this one short life. I feel like I say that all the time. Like, we have to do all the things because we don't know how much time we have. We have 100 short years if we're lucky, right? And there's even a quote in your book. I highlighted it, Josh. Like, there's a quote in your book that I loved. If I could find it real quick, it's at the beginning. And where is it? Okay,
I'm bummed because I'm going to edit this part. So I don't have my books with me.
Okay, there's a quote in your book that I love. It says, life is terribly beautiful. And I feel like that encompassed this entire recollection of your experience looking for the snow leopard, because there were so many ups and downs that you went through. Right. And you brought us straight into it. You took us right along the journey, every little thing that you're experiencing, to, how you felt when you landed, how you felt when you met your other teammates, all the experiences that you had, even in the freezing cold. And you're just like, oh my God, this is amazing. I don't care where I am, Yeah. Why don't you tell us more about this book? Why did you decide to write this book?
So I've been adventuring and exploring for a long time. I've been writing, doing like theater type writing on the side for some time, like 20 years or so. But finally, I felt I've done enough travel, enough experiences all around the world, and I like to really push the envelope in the adventure category, and even if it's a bit risky. And so I thought, it's time to start writing about these experiences. And I thought, what's the first one I want to start with? And I was like, it's the snow leopard trip for sure. That was the one that I said, I have to start with that one. And so basically, it's this idea of I wanted to live the book. I wanted to live a lifestyle that the book sort of writes itself. And so I have a bunch more in queue that I need to get to and write from, backlog travel experiences. But for this one, it was like this was the pinnacle, the quintessential example of me going on an adventure and pushing the risks. And we got to do things that typically aren't allowed, actually, because we went at a colder part of the year. Most tourists who go to see snow leopards are very limited in where they can move around, and they do it from about March to, February, let's say, to April is the range. Okay. It's because it's a little bit warmer. Mating season, you can hear them calling on the ridge lines and such, the snow leopards. And then you have a big team, and people split up into different valleys, and they can use radios and triangulate all their research. In our trip, it was just me and a partner, and that was it. No other tourists, no one else there. And so it was
you had
on
the
us.
two people. You had two other people, locals, that were helping you guys, right?
Yes, two guides, and then me and a partner. So 4 of us total. Right. And it was just our responsibility was to do the job of a whole team of people and get into every valley as often as we could and really push the limits of climbing. So, and because there were so few of us, our disruptive footprint would be minimal. And they could tell right off the bat that my partner and I, we were quite adept at climbing, and we climatized right away at 5,000 meters plus. And so, and we had respect for the culture and what we were experiencing and the customs that we were seeing in the village where we were staying. And so they said, let's push further and further and further, as long as we continue to not be disruptive to any of the wildlife. And so that made the adventure particularly unique, because most people are just scoping from one place, and they might drive around a little bit or walk a little bit, but we really got to push deep into the Himalayas.
Wow, what an experience. And how did the writing process for that go? Were you taking notes as you were going through the journey, or did you just sit there and recollect everything afterwards and decide I'm going to write this? And then how long did it take you to write your book?
Yeah, I was like when I was reading this, I was like, how does he remember everything in such beautiful detail?
Right?
So So I have a popular YouTube channel that tracks a lot of my wildlife tracking because that's another thing I do. I lead wildlife tours. I'm a semi-professional tracker. I was trained in Belarus in the Naliboki forest, and we were tracking wolves under Vadim Sidorovic. So after that, I brought it over to any country I go to, I bring that skill with me and transfer it. And so and now I lost the question. What was the question again?
How was the process of writing
Yes,
it?
of
Were you
course. The
taking
process
notes?
itself. I
Yes.
digress. I apologize. Yeah,
No, 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 no.
so I'm always capturing the videos of these trips, right? So
Okay.
that's the biggest thing for me is capturing it visually and experiencing it viscerally. So therefore I have hours and hours of footage of this
So
trip.
you have all the
So what I did
documentation in video.
first is I rewatched all the videos. When I knew I was going to write it, I said, let me get back into the feeling and the experience and immerse myself back in it. So I spent a whole day rewatching all the footage, the unedited footage, the edited footage, all of it. The stuff that's more polished on my YouTube channel and the stuff that I haven't put public yet. So that really put me in that frame of mind, in the mindset of, oh yes, that's what it was like. I'm getting all the feelings back again. And so from that
You have to
point
relive
forward,
it.
it was pretty straightforward. It was just write what I remember from day to day to day. Now, it is a memoir, but I have changed some of the details. I have modified some things, massaged some things. And the reason for this is I knew when I set out to write all the books of my travels that because I take such risks, what happens is sometimes I get into bad situations and it's not the country's fault. It's not the people's fault. It's because I put myself at risk. And I don't want to make a country look bad or anything like this. So I've decided from the very beginning that I'm going to fictionalize some elements to protect certain parties, countries, etc. And so some of the details are a bit massaged, even though the underlying theme and concepts and everything that happened, absolutely very real and true.
Okay. And how long did it take you to write it?
My wife was pregnant with our third child,
Wow.
and
Wait,
and
don't
I
you
had a
have like 5 kids or you have
I
how
have
many
three
children do you
kids.
have?
I have three
Oh,
kids.
okay.
Three kids.
Three is
Okay.
worth five.
Three
We both
kids.
have three also. Free and I have
Yeah.
three.
You have
Perfect.
a beautiful
Perfect.
family from your pictures on Instagram. You have a beautiful family.
Thank you. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Yes. Yes. I
Do they
have.
travel with you on all
So
your
they're very
journeys?
young still, but they are going to. So I've been this traveler up to this point and this adventure, and then all of a sudden children, and I'm now living the RAV4 life and being cautious and careful and pulling
Yes.
back a bit. But
Yes.
as they're, early middle school probably is probably what they can start to
Okay.
handle those more serious trips. So anyway, she was about to give birth, and I had about a 3 month window before that happened because I knew after that I was going to be super busy helping out.
Sure.
So I think I wrote it in about 3 months. I had seven editors helping me as I would finish sections, send it to them, and they were gracious to help me with
Okay.
that. So I would say that was probably it was roughly 3 months or so to write it. It's easier
Wow.
when you've lived it, right? You live the book, like I say, and then it
Sure.
just
Mhm.
Sure.
flows out. I'm not having to create something
Create.
out of new, right?
Right.
Yeah. And it was beautifully written. Those people that helped you, like they really did you a service. I don't know what the original looked like, obviously, but this was like it flowed and you felt immersed and like that you were there with you on the mountain dealing with the snow hitting you. Felt like you were there in the emotional moments where you're just like, oh, I have to deal with this, I have to do this. Everybody trying to encourage each other to like keep pushing forward. And then, am I allowed to share a spoiler? Am I allowed? I know this is
Do it, do it. Why
not.
not?
You didn't find the snow leopard until the last day.
That's correct. That's
So,
correct.
okay, let's talk about that. What was that like? Because 14 days of trekking and looking and searching, and there's nothing,
Yeah,
what was that like?
yeah. my partner and I had read the book, I think it's called The Snow Leopard by Peter Matheson, and before we went on the trip. And it's a similar concept to what we were experiencing in the sense that he's months in the Himalayas and never gets to see this elusive cat, the snow leopard, otherwise known as the gray ghost. Their camouflage is unbelievable. You can be 10 feet away and not see it right in front of you.
Wow.
It's really phenomenal. So they're very, very difficult to track, let alone braving the elements and the elevation. And once again, I forgot your question. Sorry, I'm
What was the
tired.
experience? It's okay. It's okay. What was the experience waiting 14 days
That's
to
right. That's right.
find the snow leopard? Like, how did, I mean, obviously off the page, you're like, oh my God. And you put it in bold, the snow leopard. Your
Right, right.
partner's like, the snow leopard, so what was that experience like? How did you feel? Talk us through it.
Yeah, so similar to the Peter Matheson author who wrote about the snow leopard book, in his book, The Snow Leopard, and talked about it was like months and months and never seeing it. We went days and days, and we read that book before we went, and we thought, this might be our reality as well, especially
There's a
given the
chance we
time of
won't
year
see
we
it.
went.
Right.
And so we were just like, you know what? Let's let the journey be what it is. The beautiful people we've met. We were there at a time where we got to experience their New Year celebrations and the Losar Festival, and it was just so enriching. And even for someone like me who's traveled to many, many countries, it was particularly interesting and beautiful. And so it was like by the second to last day, my partner and I just said, you know what? Over dinner, we said, it is what it is. We went on the journey,
Right.
we did what we could, and it
It
was
was
beautiful. It
fun
was
and
amazing, and we saw lots of wildlife. And you know what? It makes the mystique of the snow leopard even more powerful if we don't see it. And so we went
right.
in the morning thinking, whatever. It's just it's a icing on the cake kind
Hey,
of
book
day.
lovers and martini sippers, it's Books and Martinis, and we've got something special for you this month.
That's right. Our April author spotlight is the incredible Khaya Fraites and her debut novel, Rip LOL.
It's sharp, it's funny, and just the right amount of chaotic. We are obsessed.
Hi everyone, I'm Khaya Fraites, and I'm so excited for you all to dive into Rip LOL. I hope you love reading it as much as I loved writing it.
Aw, it's out April 17th. Make sure you grab your copy and read along with us all month long.
And don't forget to join the conversation only on Books and Martinis.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Kind of day, even though we didn't see it, and that's how we saw it.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you saw it.
And then
How
we saw it.
dangerous are they?
The snow leopard is not dangerous. They're very scared. There's a lot of trepidation towards humans. And when we first saw it through the scope, it was very, 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 very far away.
Okay.
And so this was an interesting moment, again, that most tourists don't get to have. So our guides turned to us and they said, we would like to take you guys up to see the snow leopard. And my partner and I looked at each other, we said, what? Like that doesn't happen. Because again, you're dealing with tourists, people who aren't used to that level of trekking and extremity on the not the well-worn pathway. And and the higher you're going, it's significant impact on you in terms of the climb. So we were getting close to 6,000 meters and such. And so we said yes, of course, because we both love hiking and we both love the snow leopard. So I was pinching myself the whole way up. I mean, out of breath, but trekking and trekking. So we trekked for hours further up. Oh, it was unbelievable. Like, who gets to have this opportunity?
Right.
There's some people who have amazing sightings of snow leopards and they're very close. But for me, the actual chase and the journey was more interesting than just seeing a snow leopard up close. So we end up getting quite close to it, or close enough to get some photos and videos of it. About
How
3
beautiful
hours.
was it?
So it was absolutely breathtaking. On the ridgeline, against the backdrop of the blue sky, it was just, it was
Magical.
You'll have to watch the video on my YouTube channel to see what we were feeling, because you don't speak in that environment either. It's a very sacred space up there in the Himalayas. So it's not like we're talking or cheering or anything. It's complete silence. You're taking it all in a meditative state.
Wow. How long was it sitting there? How long was it sitting? Well, not sitting, but like how long were you able to watch it?
So we were walking with it, right, for 3+ hours. Like I said, so we're following its tracks all the way up, and I'm actually putting my hands right next to the snow leopard tracks, And when we actually settled to a spot near the top of that particular ridge and saw it, we probably had about 10 minutes or so, and about 6 of those 10 minutes were visible to us before it went off.
What an
Wow.
experience.
That's a long
It was
And
time.
so this is intense. This is a beautiful, once in a lifetime experience. As a traveler, an explorer, an adventurer person, what other experience have you had that was that impactful?
Because you have more books
There's,
coming up. So you got to
there's,
give us something.
yeah. The next book I'm working on is actually going to be 3 vignettes, 3 stories in one. And all of them are times I nearly died working with wildlife. So quite
Wow.
extreme ones.
Okay.
So
Okay.
to answer
So
your
that's where we'll
question,
find them.
to answer your question though, Costa Rica, I own a treehouse in Costa Rica in the Costa Rican rainforest, right near the border with Panama. And anteaters, jaguars, sloths walk by all the time, my house. And so that's an amazing place that I have that I've adventured, like I've traveled there first before I got the property. And
Hmm.
then I lived with the Palungan tribe for a short period of time on the island of Borneo. And that was fantastic. Got to meet the Kelabit people. There was less or fewer than 30 people left in the tribe. And they were actually trying to get people from different universities, linguists, to come and preserve the language before it dies.
Hmm.
I summited Mount Kilimanjaro on New Year's Day. We timed it so we were actually right at the peak as it became
Right?
New Year's, that's like shivers
Wow.
because way down to the last base camp, all of our porters and our team who did not summit with us, they're taking care of camp and preparing breakfast because you start in the middle of the
Hmm.
night, right? And they're staying there. We're summiting with our guides and we come back down for breakfast. Anyway, as we get near the top, they started shouting when it became 12 o'clock.
Hmm.
The porters down in camp started screaming Happy New Year. And there was a trail of headlamps all the way to the top. And it sort of rolled up the mountain as
Ah,
people like echoed the cheer of Happy New Year all the way to me and then back up the mountain further to those ahead of me. So that was one of those goosebump moments that was just fantastic for sure.
wow.
Here in
Wow.
Ethiopia, I've had the chance to do a lot of wildlife tracking. So I've walked with wild lions just a few feet away, 10 feet away throughout the night. So I do lead some decent tours here. So I did about a little over 80 people on 2 different trips here
Hmm.
this year in particular already. And so those trips weren't lions. We were looking for other kinds of animals, but it's beautiful. Ethiopia is a country that's never been colonized. And so a lot of the rules and regulations and structures that might be in places like Kenya and Tanzania,
Hmm.
Botswana, etc., those aren't here. So if someone is skilled with wildlife training,
Hmm.
like myself, you can just hire a team and go out on your own. So it's this beautiful, the Wild West of
Yeah.
wildlife experiences. So those are some of the experiences. There's been more too. There's a time when I was doing a lot of things like a lot of spelunking, abseiling, things like this. There was this one cave I remember I did in Malaysia where they had to measure me, my hip points and my shoulder points
Oh,
because
to get
for
through the
several
cave.
hours we are going to be so tight that you actually had to like twist one
Oh,
arm through and then et cetera, et cetera. So for
oh
those who
my
are
goodness.
claustrophobic, it'd be a nightmare, but it was
Houdini
so much
moment. Wow.
Wow. So how do you get these experiences? Are you just in the right place at the right time? Is it you reach out to someone that you know? How do you how do you get into these
right,
experiences?
right. So again, when I was much younger, I was determined that I wanted to go see the world. I just wanted to go see things. And the world's an interesting place. There's plenty of bad in the world, but I chose to see the positive, even though there's plenty of negative. And I wanted to, with the short time I have on the earth, to go explore and see what's out there. And so that's what I started doing. And so my job gets me overseas, first of all, kind of gets me out of my comfort zone. So as a teacher, I've taught in Kazakhstan, Belarus, and Ethiopia. And then when you're here, sort of the ethos, the expectation is that on every break, spring break, fall break, winter break, you travel because the countries are nearby,
Absolutely.
especially if you're in Europe, and everybody just goes and explores. And so it's sort of the expectation. And so what I do when I go to travel is it's either you got to be mountains or wildlife or something really weird. So I went to Spain and I didn't like most of Spain except I loved Guadix. It's a cave community that people still live in. It's like a currently dwelling. It's the oldest cave community, I think, in Europe, if I'm not mistaken. It was awesome. These are the kinds of things I love to participate in and enjoy and explore. Whatever the tourist path is, I kind of want to go somewhere over
The
here.
opposite way, right?
And so the Google search now, AI, is what I usually use
Mhm.
to sort of say, all right, what are the most unique, interesting things that I can do in this particular country when I go to that country?
That's so interesting. And do you usually travel with your family? Like, does your wife and kids
Yeah.
join you through all of your journey and different
Absolutely.
countries?
Yeah,
Oh,
absolutely. They're coming with me, and again, they're very young. They're all under the age of four, so or four and
oh,
under. So we got some work to do,
right.
but already I've taken them on some trips. So they've seen the elephant shrew in Watamu, Kenya, which is a hard animal to spot.
Wow.
I just took them to go see the flamingos that are just outside the main city here, wild flamingos in the thousands all around us. So that was
Wow.
just over winter break. So things like that.
So
Like
at
I
four, they've
throw them
seen
in the
more
car and
than
we
most.
go. Yes, yes.
Right. At
They're
four, they've
they're
seen
world
more.
travelers already. Yes, yes.
I love that.
Have
Oh, I love
uh,
that for them.
so I feel like this is Nat Geo.
Right? Oh, I
Right?
love it.
Um, okay, so let's pivot a little bit. And you have another book, right? In addition
Yeah,
to all your
yeah.
exploration and your traveling teacher book, let's talk about the other book. Tell us what the title is and what it's all about.
Sure.
Mhm.
So the title is Inner Voice Revolution: Redesigning Self-Talk for Personal Growth and Decision Making. This book is the first one I wrote in the self-help category, very different from my other book, because this is sort of the rudder that moves me in life. You asked me, like, how do I know what I want to do? Like, how do I figure out these travels, etc. Um, and so this is a process I invented, I believe, as far as I understand, where I essentially get into a quiet meditative space and I imagine future versions of myself at the dinner table with me. And so it's my future 40-year-old or 50-year-old self, my 70-year-old self, my 90-year-old self. And I begin to have a conversation with them, obviously all projecting in my own head, but it's a very useful process. I use it for like a self audit. How's my life going right now? And I also will use it for like if I have a difficult decision I got to make. So do I want to stay in Ethiopia? Do I want to go to another country? And so it is a very insular process, right? You are very much projecting what you think your future selves might value or care about. But it's what the fascinating thing about this process is when you get crosstalk in your mind and your imagination between different values at different age levels, that's when it becomes really interesting. When your 90-year-old self says you should value these things, but your 60-year-old self disagrees and says, no, you should value these other things. And in this
Mm.
conversation, you sort of try to put together the pieces and figure out what you would do for your current life. Anyway, this is the process that I've developed. There's a whole sample in there, like a whole model, hologram conversation is what I call it, and also the steps to it and why you do it and how to utilize it in your life. And so when I use this process, I really get complete clarity. When I leave a session that could be 30 minutes or an hour or something in the private of my home, I definitely know what direction I want to go. Is it going to be the right decision? Maybe not always, but at least I
Right.
really have a sense of, when I was growing up, people would say, what does your 80-year-old self think and about what you're doing right now? Or what would your 80-year-old self tell you? And I just felt that was so insufficient. Like, why do I want this just one point in time? I want to hear from the different versions of myself. And so, anyway, it's a dynamic process. I think that people, what was happening is my students were using it, and their feedback was, "You got to write this. You got to put this into a book because it's really helping us, like decide what college we're going to, or this, that, and the other." And so, I said, "Yes, let's do this then." And so, yeah, people
Love
who've
that.
read it have had a lot of positive feedback for sure.
Oh, I have to read that. I love it. I love it. And where can people find your books, all of your books, and your YouTube channel?
Yeah. So you can search my name, Joshua Smalley. You can search the titles on Amazon. That's where I have them. I have them on Ingram Spark as well, but primarily on Amazon is where you'll
Okay.
find them. And so my YouTube channel is the same for all my different accounts, my TikTok, my Instagram, et cetera, Facebook. It's Traveling Teacher. And when I was setting up the account, there was no TEACHER.
Okay.
So I just did TEACHR. So a teacher who misspells teacher. Oh, the irony. So it's just youtube.com/traveling teacher, but you got to spell that last part wrong. It's just TACHR. And Instagram, it's the same thing. Traveling.teacher. Facebook /traveling teacher, etc. So you'll find all the different travels and my photography and my art and things there. So yeah.
Wow.
Oh,
wow.
Interesting.
So okay. Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, we could talk to you for hours and hours and hours. You've explored and you've seen so much. It's so fascinating.
Yeah, it's so fascinating, your whole life journey, and even up to the point where you're now trying to teach others to, I guess, seek their own intuition and decision making, basically, from your latest book, and manifestation, because you're trying to coach yourself through it so you can create your future for yourself.
Just to add one other piece onto that is, I think a lot of people are trying to seek advice. Now they're seeking AI advice or Google advice or their friends' advice.
I know, that's bad.
And the voices become a bit muddled. And this is sort of an encouragement to say, let's look back inward, because I think you might have some of the answers. And if, there's some people I know who are very religious, and they're like, I don't want to search inside myself. I want to look to God. Okay, so then just manipulate this structure to communicate with God then, and do it that way.
Yeah.
In an elementary kind of point of view, it's like Dorothy. It was always within her to make it home. Yeah. She didn't have to go through the Oz, right? So
right.
It's always within you. So
yeah, that's a great comparison. Analogy.
So I wanted to thank you for your time and to ask you to please continue sharing all of these awesome journeys and all these risks that you take. And I'm sure your beautiful family too. We'd love to see them as part of your journey as they get older. And as your journey continues, come back and visit us again so we can see what you're up to on the next phase. And
we'll do. Absolutely.
We're fascinated by everything you're doing, and we wish you a lot of luck and a lot of health in your travels, so you can share with the world.
Yes, please be safe, because the world, I know you don't like to think about the bad stuff.
It's out there.
Oh, it's very real. It's very real right now. The world is
kind of chaotic right now.
Oh, yes.
So please be safe when you're out traveling. Yeah. And
absolutely.
Thank you for sharing yourself with all of us. And anyone listening right now, watching, go to his YouTube channel and check out his adventures. And make sure you check out his books, download his books, purchase them, support him, support his work. And, on the side note, because we were talking about this before the podcast started, you have a big conference tomorrow for all of Africa. Feel better. Yes. And we hope you feel better. Your voice is nice and clear, so you could teach your students. And we can't wait to see what you do next, Joshua Smalley. We can't wait. Thank you so much for sharing your journey with us. Let's do one last cheers.
Absolutely.
Cheers to you and your volcanic
water. Yummy water.
Salute.
All right.
All right, guys. Like, share, follow, subscribe. We'll see you all soon.
Yeah. Thank you.